And I felt guilty when they died, or I gave them up to be slaughtered.
Do you think desensitizing towards violence is optimal human behavior?
It's selfish, and I should be able to rise above it, but I haven't. Oh, jeez. Oh, this does not make me feel good. Oh, I'm part of a species that I'm not proud of.
Do you think the forgiveness made the situation better or cleared your conscience more?
It just cleared my conscience more.
Hi everyone, this is Sheena, and today I'm here with Frank. How are you?
I'm well, thank you, Sheena. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, no problem. So Frank and I live in the same area, and we've often seen each other around and have some very interesting conversations, some of which around Frank's passions, which are, maybe you want to tell us about your passions?
Investigating every discipline for the anomalies that exist relative to current paradigms, and I've developed a new concept about the origins of everything in the process, of which I'm trying to put together the evidence to see whether it's consistent or not. I'm obviously not going to get it all, but I'm trying.
Yeah. And you seem to be on a quest for the truth, and I think that's where some of our conversations were about.
Yeah, I have a responsibility as a human being, I think, to try to understand what I'm doing here and not play games.
And why do you think the truth is so important?
Because there's so much untruth, unsubstantiated opinions and beliefs that can't be supported in terms of best consistent evidence. And I would like to know the truth.
Do you think we need to take a step back and examine our lives apart from the way that we were conditioned?
Yes.
Do you find it hard to think and believe what is quite different to the norm or perhaps against the status quo?
No.
Why does it come so easily to you?
Because I believe in the process of looking for the truth with best consistent evidence.
So on that basis, when we're talking about truth, we had mentioned in our meetings before that we wanted to talk about, or my passions were to talk about animals.
Yes.
And you had some very interesting insights about animals. Could you share some of them with us?
I've had animals, and I did appreciate it. I felt many of them were wise and shared their beauty in living with their eyes and my eyes. And I felt guilty when they died, or I gave them up to be slaughtered.
Why did you feel guilty?
It wasn't necessary. It's as if they're your friend and partner until they're no longer needed. And then you get rid of them. And it's what you do. And I didn't feel good about myself.
Do you think desensitizing towards violence is optimal human behavior?
You should never be desensitized.
Why?
And I have a responsibility to understand my own past so I can understand my own ignorance and desensitivity.
Do you think animals like chickens, cows, pigs, fish, do they feel joy and pain as well?
Yes.
Can I ask, do you eat animals?
And occasionally I'll have a touch of fish. I have an egg.
You do have an
egg.
egg.
An egg a day.
Do you think fish feel pain?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
And I can feel it. I made it, that came painfully as a kid, where on holidays I would fish. Nobody around, and I could fish, and occasionally my line would get stalled. My grandmother would undo the knot, and I'd go back and I'd catch fish. But I wouldn't eat them. It was all in the catching. And I came to realizing this is empty. Why am I doing this? It was boredom. There wasn't anything else to do.
Do you think at that time you realized fish feel pain? Because I know I used to
I have
fish.
to kill the fish. I have to get them off the line to get the hook out of their mouths.
How did that make you feel?
Awful.
So what can I ask, why do you continue to eat fish now?
I want to get more protein. I'm eating tons of almonds.
How about beans and tofu and tempeh?
I'm ignorant. I've never had tofu. It's selfish, and I should be able to rise above it, but I haven't.
Yeah. Can I show you a video on the fishing industry?
Oh yeah, but it's going to be painful.
The fishing one is kind of probably nothing more than you would have experienced yourself, and it's more on the large-scale fishing side of it.
Oh, but I've seen images where the nets come in and you've got all these fish.
And sharks and turtles and dolphins.
In there, and they don't bother often to throw them back in. They just kill them and dump them.
Because, consequently, the effects of catching one piece of salmon or tuna, you're also catching dolphins and whales and turtles and all of that. Yeah.
Unnecessarily. And even then, they get trapped in nets and no one takes the time to get them out.
So, sometimes I used to fish as well. I've probably been fishing maybe 10 times in my life before going vegan. And I just thought it was really cool that you could just go out with this line, and it was like, I saw it like gambling, right? You throw your line in, you never know what you might catch. And I always thought it was a little bit strange that when I caught the fish, I wasn't then able to, I would hand it off to my partner. I wasn't able to take the hook out of the fish's mouth. I wasn't able to kill the fish, and I didn't want to eat the fish afterwards. And in my mind, I know it was that as soon as the fish came out of the water, or I dragged it out of the water, that it then became very, very real to me that was a living being. And fish was one of the last things.
And they're flopping in front of you.
Yeah, I remember it taking 30 minutes, like half an hour for a fish to fully stop flopping around in the bucket. 30 minutes of, say, me drowning underwater. Exactly. So these were all signs kind of,
And it takes having been in water and nearly drowning once or twice when you're young, but you get through it.
And we don't
at that point.
We don't have a hook in our mouths pulling us underwater, something you would never hope for. Now, can I show you a video on the dairy industry?
Yep.
This is standard practice in the dairy industry.
Oh, jeez. Oh, this does not make me feel good.
Held at 3 months for veal.
Oh, and people choose not to look at this. Oh.
How did that video make you feel?
Sick. I'm part of a species that I'm not proud of.
We don't think about it. We're conditioned to not think about it.
Yes.
Can I show you a video on the egg industry? It's a standard practice. It's nothing out of the ordinary. Again, part of truth.
Yes.
Okay.
Wow. Oh my. Oh, wow. Oh, that's not free range. What are they doing? Are they killing them? For an omelet. When I had eggs, and I would collect the eggs and I would eat the eggs and felt good about it. But part of the process was that I had to go into and there was an outdoor area the chickens could go. But the roosters would attack me. And I just had to accept that.
Why do you think they did that?
Out of love of mating and sharing with the females. And it was natural. And it was beautiful.
Do you think they felt threatened and sad that you were taking their eggs away?
Yes. Not so much the eggs, it was the act of interfering with their lives in a way that I had no right to. And that told me, don't hit them back, but talk to them and ask as much forgiveness and try to go around them rather than attacking them.
Do you think the forgiveness made the situation better or cleared your conscience more?
It just cleared my conscience more.
Do you have any questions for me?
You've made a good case. I'm trying to justify what I do because I'm not perfect. Is that just an excuse? That's the problem. Right. I don't know.
Yeah. And I think it's easy for a lot of us to overcomplicate these issues, but what if there's a bigger reason and a fundamentally inherent reason why we do these things? But when we look at it, just take a step back and look at it objectively, what happens for that product to come into that package, to come onto the plate? Do I want to be part of it, yes or no? For me, it was that simple.
Yeah. And for me, it's more complicated.
Mm-hmm. Or like you said, isn't an excuse?
And it's an excuse.
Okay. So
and I'm not perfect. I'm part of it. I'm part of the damn system. Yeah. And I'm consciously aware of it was brought home today in a more vigorous manner. But I'm doing less harm. I appreciate being around other people that enlighten me. You, Turkey, enlighten me. And I'm trying to grow and trying to understand while I'm not perfect. Your process is excellent. And it's complicated. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm just
Okay,
rearranging my
Well,
leg.
and I'm thinking, are my legs asleep?
Yeah, but I'll elevate my foot here.
And what amazes me
I'm just gonna put my foot up on the table.
well,
Okay,
that's good.
yeah.
Now you look comfy.
Are you okay to tie it up, to finish it up there?
Yep.
You're okay to finish it up there?
Yep.
Okay. Thank you so much for taking the time to sit down and talk.
Lesser of a human being as a result, because I see my own weaknesses in the process and admire you, Turkey, because you are so much better than I and have internalized. But we're dealing you're on a specific level, and I'm dealing with the universe. But you're more immediate and justified, and I'm dealing with something that I have a far greater chance of not understanding, and no one's doing it.
Absolutely. There are many issues, there are many issues that we could be involved in, and, they're all positive issues. Veganism is a positive action, and we don't gain anything by devaluing any of the issues, right?
Agreed.
When they're all
Agreed.
positive
Agreed.
actions.
More sustainable, what's the word? Verifiable and consistent facts.
Thank you so much, Frank. Thank you for sitting down and talking. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay.